So this is going to be a quick video just on how to set up a Google Classroom and then how to send work through Google Classroom. So to start, I'm on google.com. All I need to do is type down classroom.google.com. The thing with Google is if you want to get to your docs, your drive, your sheets, your slides, if you just type that word in .google.com, it'll bring you to it. So slides.google.com, docs.google.com, classroom.google.com. So when you go into a classroom, the first thing you want to make sure is if you have multiple Gmail accounts like I do, you want to make sure that you are signed into the correct one. For our school, I'm going to make sure that I am signed into my Heroes MS-137 because that way my students with that email address will be able to access this class. So as you'll see in a moment, I already have some classes set up. I will show you an example of what one of those classes looks like with my homeroom class, and then I will walk you through how you can create your own. So what I've done on Classroom, as you can see on the beginning, I have a board with messages that kids and myself have made, but I mostly use it for assigning classwork, which you can see on here. And these are things that I have made already on Drive or I've uploaded otherwise. So let me just bring you back to the main page so you can see how to create your own. So the first thing I'm going to do is when I'm on classroom.google.com, there's a plus sign in the top corner. I am going to click this plus sign, and I'm going to click Create a Class. Your students, when they do this, they are going to click Join a Class, but you, the creator, are going to click Create a Class. So the class name, I'm going to make it 7-1234. And this section, subject room, you don't need to fill out. Subject, I'll make it ELA. There's all these things showing up already. Great. So I've made my class. I put a subject, even though I don't have to, and I'm going to click Create. What that's going to do is you are now going to become the administrator for this whole page. From this screen, this is pretty much where you're going to be posting information and where your students will see it. Notice on the top there are 4 tabs: Stream, Classwork, People, and Grades. To start, we're just going to look at the Stream section, but we'll be going through the other tabs as well. So when you're on the screen, some things you will notice is you'll notice this big colored picture. It's pretty, it's nice. If you want to, you can upload a picture. You can select a different theme to change it, to customize it. Frankly, it doesn't matter. I think 3 of my classes have the same exact one. It's not super important. It says share something with your class. So I'm going to make sure that it's for this class. If you have multiple classes, they will all show up here, but I want to send it just to this one. I'm going to make sure that it goes to all of my students, even though I have no students currently signed up. It's going to get pushed out to them when they do sign up for a class. Hey guys, thank you for joining. Please stay tuned for incoming work. So I wrote my little message and I'm going to post it. At this point, any students that sign up for the class will get this message. Whether they sign up an hour from now, a week from now, a year from now, they will get the message. They don't miss out just because they sign up for it late. So some other things that are important to know. Your students, they can comment back. You have the ability to turn that commenting off. I know that there are some kids that you may not necessarily want the privilege to write everything, or you just don't want any kids to write anything at all and only you and your co-teacher. You can turn that comment off by going to Settings and where it says Stream. So I click Settings and I just scroll down where it says Stream. Right now students can post and comment. I only want the teacher to post and comment for right now because I just need them to understand the information. I don't need them to use it and spam it with messages or say inappropriate things. And then when I do that, I'm going to click Save. So now only myself, the teacher, can make any comments. So now that I have a message, now that I have my classroom set up, I'm going to create an assignment for my students who have not yet signed up for this class. So on the top tabs, I'm going to click where it says classwork, and then I'm going to click create. Now, after clicking create, there are several options that pop down. If you want to post it as a question where they can respond, if you want to just make a material that they can just look at, if you want to make a quiz that they can work on, those are fine. Typically, I just make it assignments and I just push it out that way. So I'm going to, now that I have an assignment, I'm going to title it. I'm going to call it my unit for pre-assessment. And I'm going to write some instructions. Here is, for this assignment, I would like you to write a 1-paragraph response to the following question. What does it mean to be home? Okay. So I have a question here for them to answer. If I look on the side, it's for the students in the class. All of the students will be getting this assignment. Right now, this will be graded out of 100. If you want, you can make it out of 4 if you want to do the 4 scale. If you want to make it out of 10, you can. Or if you want to make it ungraded, you can do that as well. For this, I'm going to make it out of a 4. For due date, well, since I'm going to be assigning it today, I think I'm going to give them till Sunday night to do it. It must be due by Sunday night, so that way Monday they're all good. And I like making do at 11:59. That way they have the entire day to work on it. I'm not going to worry about a topic right now, and I'm not going to worry about a rubric right now. Now, before I click assign, I can do one of 2 things. I can add an attachment from my Google Drive, from YouTube, for them to look at, for them to use. And if I click on Drive, this window will pop up, and I can see all of my files, everything that I might need. Maybe I made something that I'm going to have them click on. Maybe I have a file that I made not on Google Drive that I want to upload, and I just click select files, and I can look through all my files here. Or I can create a brand new thing right now. What I like about creating a new is if I just go to create and docs, now all the students are going to have this assignment page here on their end. When they... Mr. Eichen, can you please go up to the library at this time? And I'm going to title the assignment unit for pre-assessment. So now I have an assignment that I've created with this text. The reason I add this text here is when the students get it, they will see this answer in front of them over here. They'll see this question here, so they don't have to click back and forth. So I'm going to leave this page where it is, and I'm going to go back to the classwork. Right now, that's the assignment over there. The title will update shortly. Right now, students can view file. I want my students to type directly onto this, but I do not want them to edit the file that it messes up everybody else's. So I'm going to click make a copy for each student. The 3 options you have. Students can view a file. If you just want to give a PDF that they just look at and read, they can just view the file. They can't make any edits, they can't make any changes, they only look at it. If you give students can edit a file, that means that anything that you post, all the students will be able to make changes to. I never use that file at all. I either use the view a file if I just want to look at the PDF, or I click make a copy for each student. This is so super key that this is used. What this is going to do is when the student clicks on this link, it is going to make them a brand new file with their name attached to it. So you're not going to have 1,000 different documents that say Unit 4 pre-assessment like it says here. It will say Michael Strom - Unit 4 pre-assessment, and it allows them to type directly into it, and they don't have to worry about attaching anything. It's all there for them. So I have a title, I have instructions, I have the assignment, I have the class it's going for, I have the points, I have a due date. I'm happy with this. I'm going to click the assign button up there. it is currently assigning, and any student will now be able to, from this class, will be able to access the assignment by clicking on it, and it is there. From this point, you might be wondering, okay, if I'm making, and so if I go back to stream, it'll show up there too. They don't even need to click on classwork. It just pops up on their feed, kind of like a Twitter feed or a Facebook feed. It'll be there. So now at this point, I have work, I have a message, I just don't have any students. There are two ways you can go about this. One makes a lot more sense than the other, just time-wise, but we'll look at both. So if I click on those four tabs on the top, if I click on people, where it says students, there's nobody here yet. If I click on the plus sign, I can now sit and I can type down every single student's email to send all of my 30 students this thing. Okay, so since that option seems unviable and a waste of time, I may not necessarily want to choose that option. The other option I could have instead, see where it says invite students or give them the class code with these random letters? These random letters are the code to sign up for this specific class. If I were to make a different class, it would be a different set of letters or numbers or both. That code is never going to change for this specific class. So I might copy this and send a pupil path email saying, hi students, we're going to start using Google Classroom. Please go to classroom.google.com. Make sure you're signed in with your Heroes at MS137 email address. And when you click join class on the top corner, please type in that code. Those students will then automatically be sent to the class. You only want to send, I will only send that email to my students in my 7-1234 class. I'm not going to send it to students in my 4-321 class. Also on this page, you might see the plus sign next to teachers. If you have a co-teacher, you can add them so they can also have the same administrative access that you have. That one, you are going to just type in their email. For this one, I will do, I will do Oliva, which is my co-teacher, and I'll invite her. And now she has the same access that I have. I can email her, I can remove her from there. It's fine, the same option with all kids. After you have students added, they will be able to access all of the information you put in the stream, all of the information you put in the classwork, and when you start grading things, they will be able to see their grades on here as well. I'm just going to take this moment and I want to go back to one of my already made classes so I can show you what it looks like to view pre-made assignments and also to see what grades look like. So I'm just going to click on this little hamburger in the top right and I'm going to go to my 314 class. Okay, so this is my homeroom class. I'm just going to show you kind of how I've used it so far. Let's go to classwork. So if I go to classwork, I'm going to look at the Unit 3 performance task. So now when it looks like I've graded 15 of these, and it looks like 15 have turned in but not been graded, and one was assigned but never done. I'm going to look at that a little bit further, so I'm going to click View Assignment. If I have View Assignment, I see that in this column, these are the students that have turned it in but have not yet been graded. This is a student that did not do the assignment yet and has not turned it in. And these are the students who have done the assignment and have been graded. For me to see a student's assignment, I'm going to click on their assignment page. Now, when I made this, I added 2 attachments, which you can do when you make it. So I'm going just to make sure that in the right column, I have the proper assignment selected. So I am talking about the correct thing with him. So, okay, so I am going to, this is just the assignment page that I made. So what I did with this is I made this on Google Docs already, and I sent it out to all the students with the ability for them to make their own copy and write on it if they so chose. But I want to see what he actually did. So I'm going to click on the second assignment, which says his name and the Unit 3 performance task. I made that the same way I made the Unit 4 performance task, where I just made a document I created and I pushed it out to them so that when he opens it up, it has his name and the assignment. So I'm going to move that over there because I don't need that there right now. And I'm going to scroll through. So I made this out of 4. I've also added a rubric, which I can show you. If you have a question about how to add a rubric, I can show you that later on. But for the sake of just knowing how to set up Classroom, I'm not going to go over that right now. So this is his paper that I am going to read through. If I have any comments to make, I can make comments by, highlighting the text, clicking add a comment, and typing my comment on good use of explanation. Okay. After grading the whole thing, I will write down what the grade is going to be, and I'll say it's going to be a 2 out of 4. If I have any comments I need to make, I can make my prep comments down here. And then when I'm all finished grading it, I will press return. That way the student will receive the paper back with the grade on it. I'm not going to click return yet because I'm not finished grading his paper, but that's what you would do. Now let's say I want to share, I have news for several of my classes to get at once. I can write the same comment. Hey guys, hope everyone is staying safe right now. Since IXL is fixed, please continue to work on the assigned work. Lack of better words. I'm going to fix my typo because I don't know how to spell. Now I have multiple classes, ELA classes that I want to send this to. I'm going to click the drop-down menu, and I'm going to make sure that I'm selecting 314, which it already is since this is the class, also 318, and then I click out of it. So now 2 classes are getting this information. If I click post, they will then get this immediately. I can, let's say that I don't want everybody in my one class to get this, but only a few students. If I go back to the class, and let's say I want him and her and him to get this only because they've emailed me instead of sending 4 emails. Now these 4 students only will get this message. I click post, they get it. Besides that, that is pretty much a really quick overview of how to just use Classroom. If you are unsure how to still use yourself questions, please reach out to me in room 314. I gladly will help you. But this should hopefully give you some information or some help to get you through using Classroom for the first time. Good luck.